can we go around this way for introductions, the spoken introductions, and we'll get it all done nice and quickly.
So these we stick on our...
Yes, please. Just write your first name, just stick it on you somewhere. Hiya.
Hi, yeah, my name's Jane.
Hi, Jane.
I voted for Dems last time, and I usually get the news, the free newspaper on the train. And
Metro?
Yeah. And the Guardian on my phone.
Metro and Guardian. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jane. Hello.
Hello, I'm Jan.
Hi, Jane. Oh, okay. This always happens.
Just spell your name, just spell your name.
Oh, A&E.
Oh, why? So that's okay. I voted Conservative,
Yep.
and I tend to get my news off Sky News, to be honest.
Brilliant. Thank you. Hello.
Dave, Conservative, I voted for last time, and tend to be Sky News BBC One.
Lovely. Thank you. Hello.
I'm Clive.
Hi, Clive.
Last election I voted Labour.
Last time. Follow the news.
Oh yeah, pretty much on BBC I get my news from.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you. Hello.
My name's Fred.
Hi, Fred.
Yeah, I follow the news programmes, newspapers, the debates.
Yeah. And can you remember
That's how I get my information.
And remember how you voted back in 2010?
Labour.
Labour last time. Brilliant. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name's Mandy. I voted Labour last election and I get the news normally from television.
B, Sky, ITV, just whatever happens to be on?
BBC ITV.
Okay, brilliant, thank you. Hi.
Hi, my name's Carol.
Hi, Carol.
I didn't vote in the last one,
Okay.
but most of my news is off the BBC One news.
On the telly.
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. Hello.
My name's Wendy. I voted Labour last time.
Yeah.
And I get most of mine off of the radio news.
LBC or
It's usually a local.
5 Live?
Yeah, well, anything that's on. If it's in the car,
If
it's
it's
been
what's on in the
cancelled.
car.
If it's what's on at work,
Yeah.
I think it's Crime FM at work. But it's where it's on there.
Brilliant, thank you. Hiya.
Jason, I voted Labour last time, and get mine from ITV, BBC News, on the television.
My name's Peter.
Hi, Peter.
I like listening to LBC News on the telly, plus sometimes on the internet, just read a few things.
Do you remember how you voted last time?
Yeah, Labour.
Labour, lovely. Well look, brilliant, that's really useful. I suppose I say, so I spend my life doing lots of work about politics and therefore read about it and spend my time. I mean, there's now basically a fortnight to the general election. Is that a surprise that it's this quick? Are you looking forward to having your chance to have a say? Can you just not wait for politicians to shut up and stop bothering you?
Getting like that.
Getting like that?
Yeah, we get bombardment on the television all the time.
Plus, I'm interested in the outcome, to be honest, like I say, it's so close.
Yeah.
And also, it's like whether there's going to be another coalition and that, I don't know what's going on there.
So, interest in the outcome, like if you're watching the football and it's, if you don't support the teams, you can just watch it and enjoy who's going to win, or interest in the outcome because if it all goes wrong, the country might be screwed for 5 years, or is it like watching good film, it's exciting, or is it a bit scary that we don't know what the outcome's going to be?
It's kind of scary, like knowing what's going to happen, because things ain't been going too well lately as far as I'm concerned, so, it's about the way we live and everything, it's scary, the way things are, definitely.
If I will pause that thought there is tea and coffee. So there's an election coming, we're not quite sure what the outcome's going to be. I mean, we'll come back to what we might like the outcome to be or what we think the different outcomes could be. But what are we hearing from the parties? The parties have spent months now trying to tell us stuff about them. I mean, start with the Tories, the Conservatives. What are they trying to tell us? What are you hearing from them?
Lies.
Lies?
Stuff that they're never going to, if they get in, they'll never probably pull through with the policies they're saying. So they did it last time.
Okay.
The U-turns, isn't it?
But
I can't believe it.
Are they unique in that way? Is that all the parties are probably telling you lies?
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
all of them.
I think that's
It's something you want to hear, don't they,
Yeah, that goes across all parties, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're not silly.
Does everyone agree with Jane that politicians are basically just telling us what we want to hear?
Yeah.
I think so.
And I find that there's certain things I like from each party,
Yeah,
so that makes it difficult.
of course.
I think the Conservatives have been very negative.
They've been very negative.
Very negative.
See, I feel the opposite.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think what they're doing is slagging off everybody else. That's how I see them anyway.
Well, I watched that debate with all the
Yeah.
parties. The first one.
Yeah. It was just one-upmanship, wasn't it?
The whole time. Yeah. There was no
Nigel Farage reckons he's suing the BBC, doesn't he?
What for?
Well, he reckons that they selected the audience, so that any
Oh, that was the one recently.
Yeah.
That was the one about a week ago, wasn't it?
He reckoned that they purposely
They were very
kept his supporters away from
Oh,
it.
it seems to have stacked it against him.
So every time he brought up immigration, they just all give a sigh of you know.
So clearly some people watched the debates. Have they, because there was lots of sort of arguments before the debates about whether there'd even be debates. Were they useful? Did they answer questions for you? Are things clearer now than they were before the debates?
I don't think so.
No.
Especially, I mean, I only watched the first one.
Sure.
I mean, I watched that, and after that, I thought I can't bear any more of these.
Okay.
Which is terrible, probably, but that's how I felt.
They still only say what. They never answer a question.
Okay.
They only ever say what they think you want to hear, which is the best thing. But it doesn't mean that they say it, they're going to follow through with it.
If you could force a politician to answer a single question, if you could and they were bound by some almighty power to
They
answer the
still
question.
They go round everything to get to the answer.
But what would you ask? You could ask the politician one question, which they would have to answer completely truthfully. What do you want to know from them?
What did they really earn?
What do they really earn? Yeah? What else would we ask? So how much are you actually earning? The honest answer.
Well,
Are we going to
they
stop
say
migrants coming into the country?
So what would you actually do about migration?
Yeah, and stopping them draining our resources.
Okay. So now if you've got the proverbial gun against someone's head and they're going to have to answer your question, we want to know how much they're paid, we want to know what you can do about immigration.
Well, we know what their wages is. I mean, because it's state.
Yeah, but you want to know
roughly
plus
60
expenses,
grand
plus
a
all this
year,
other
but
stuff.
They live off expenses. They don't pay nothing out of that wage for the 5 years that they're in. So that I'd like to know what they really get at the end of 5 years.
So we find out how much they're really earning, what they're doing in immigration.
Well, hospitals, what they're doing with the healthcare.
Well, they're giving it all to the migrants.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that a reflection of the big, because you often at elections, at different stages, issues, different levels of importance. At the last election, lots of people were really concerned about the economy. I mean, at this election, is that a reflection of the big issues of what, the health service and immigration? Are they?
I think, I think so. Housing.
Yeah. Seems overcrowded. Things seems like really overcrowded at the moment. Definitely.
We was having this conversation out there just now about that.
Should have been out there with you. Infrastructure?
What I did get from that last debate is that they were saying what percentages of foreign people work in hospitals. And they come up with 40% of the workers are foreign bred, brought over for it. But they don't tell you how many people are patients in the hospital, what percentage of them are foreign. So, I mean, they just don't give you the right information. They only give you information of what they want to say.
Okay. So I noticed at the start it wasn't a test or a quiz, and it's not supposed to be. But if I sort of read out some of the things different parties are saying, do you want to let me know sort of who it is you think is saying it? So do you know which of the parties is talking about there being a long-term economic plan? Who's that? Long-term economic plan.
Cameron, isn't it?
Cameron, Conservative.
Yeah, definitely.
Why? I mean, you're correct.
Because he's always talking long term, isn't he?
He's always talking long term.
Yeah, he never actually
Well, it
gets what
covers
he
them,
said he was
doesn't
going to do, so he continues it each time. It's always the long term plan.
I mean, the argument the Prime Minister and the Tories are making is that when we came into power in 2010, the economy was in a real mess and we were fixing it. Not as quick as we might want to, not as quick as you might want us to, but things are better now than they were 5 years ago. And if you give us your vote again, they'll be better in 5 years' time than they are now. Is that broadly true, do you think? Are things better than they were 5 years ago?
If you work in the public sector,
No.
absolutely not, it's worse.
No, we were in a recession at that time, and no matter who was in, we were going to be down in the dumps anyway.
Yeah.
And when they came in this last 5 years, trade's got a bit better, so no matter who was in, we would be where we are today anyway.
Don't they deserve some credit for that?
No,
No.
I think
No,
they
at all.
do. Yeah, I think they do.
No, we had
We're
to
not in a
rich
recession
people
now,
around
are
here, I think
Okay.
we would.
In real terms, I mean, people like me, I work for a local authority. In real terms, I've been given a 1% pay rise in God knows how many years, 3, 4 years,
Okay.
I'm not sure. So in reality, I've had a pay cut. So who is getting better from the medication that they're giving to the country? Certainly not the likes of us.
Do we think then if it's not helping the likes of you, are there some people benefiting from this government?
Yeah,
Rich.
definitely.
The rich?
Definitely.
Yeah, they'd give them a tax cut. They're talking about selling off the shares for the Lloyd's Bank I mean, who's going to benefit by that? It's got to be people that's got money who can afford to buy loads of shares. The average person can't afford to buy them.
If you're talking about putting people on 0 hours contracts, you've got people basically who are running companies who are making colossal profits because they don't have to pay into those people as employees. They can hire and fire as and when they want. So lots of people are making money from this government, yeah.
Okay.
Not people like me.
Do they save on holiday money and things like that on the 0 contract?
Are they, did they not say they stopped zero contracts? I thought they stopped that.
Yeah.
I thought that the government
No, they
said
do
they
still
didn't
pay
want it.
holidays.
They might
You have to work so many days and you get 1 day off holiday.
So,
0 contract.
so what the current government has done is they have banned exclusive 0 contracts. So
Yeah.
let's say you work for supermarket X. What you can't now do is when a contract with supermarket X that says you will get, we can't guarantee work, but you can't go and sign up with supermarket Y. So they've banned that, so you can be employed by supermarket X and Y and Z if you wanted to, although that still doesn't guarantee you work, except that.
though, is it?
So, I mean, that's something the Labour Party, Ed Miliband, has spent lots of time talking about, that they will ban exploitative 0 contracts. So have people heard him talking about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he right to do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think the only reason we're bringing it in is to boost up numbers of you can count those people being employed,
Right.
but they're not employed in a full-time
So
job,
what?
so my opinion doesn't actually count.
Okay. So sort of he gets a vote, a tick from you there. I mean, what else is Ed Miliband and his Labour Party saying?
I mean, probably £2.5
Well, he said
million
he's
more
finishing
than
0
the Conservatives
and
and
stuff.
Yes.
You don't want to employ people 0
Okay.
contracts.
So he's
People working, having a job for life.
Yeah.
security.
Finish 0 contracts.
It's a service.
What else is he saying? Sorry,
So they're going to put £2.5 billion more than the Conservatives into the NHS.
Yeah, 3 billion.
But where's that money going to come from? We're going to have to rob it from
Nobody
somewhere
says
else.
Yeah,
isn't
what's
it?
it gonna
So
go
something
on?
that they're doing good, he's going to
Yeah.
take
Does
that away
anybody,
from, isn't he?
I mean, when you ask a good question, Labour have an answer to that. I mean, I'll tell you in a second, I want to know what it is. They've pledged £2.5 billion to NHS. Where's that money going to
They're
come
going to
from?
raise it from a 50% tax, basically, like on people who earn over 100,000. I think it would be. We're going to talk about like raising the mansion tax, raising of the mansion tax.
Yeah, so, I mean,
there's two anyway.
Yeah, but where's it going to go? What's it going to go on?
So Labour have some calculation that if you bring in a tax on mansions worth over 2 million, it's 20,000 nurses, 8,000 doctors, something like that. You know, you can work. That's their sum. Is that a good thing to do? Introduce a tax on big houses?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
When they bought these houses years ago, they wasn't paying a lot of money for them in the first place, was they? So
No.
a bit of tax won't hurt. They've earned a lot of money in equity over the years.
But
Why not?
they didn't, the Conservative, or the coalition, this time in office, they took away child benefit for people who earn over a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So that was getting some back, wasn't it? Because that's right, like, you know, if they earn over a certain amount of money, why should they get that?
Okay. What have the Conservatives said they'll do in the health service?
Just going to put 8 billion into it, but they ain't saying where they're getting it from.
Yeah, so this past weekend they announced that we'll put, so the chief executive of the NHS, the civil servant who runs it, has said it needs £8 billion more a year. And the Conservatives over the last week have said, we'll now fund that. So, you know, in the latest pledges, they'll put more money in than Labour will put in. Labour said 2.5 billion will come from this mansion tax. The Tories have now said 8 billion, but haven't yet explained the sums behind it.
Well, they have. They've said they will cut costs, but they haven't said where they're going to cut it.
Okay. Fair enough. So what about UKIP? What are UKIP saying?
In a sentence.
Sorry?
In a sentence.
Yeah, in a sentence.
They're talking about coming out of the common market and talking about having a restriction on people coming into this country. And apart from that, they're not saying a lot about anything else.
NHS only for those that live in this
Oh,
country
yeah.
as well, no,
Okay.
which is a good thing.
I mean, this is really the first general election where UKIP have been a major party. They did very well in the last European elections. Back in 2010, only 3% of people voted UKIP, so it's their first big election. What type of impression are they making? Are they coming across well? I mean, Nigel Farage claims that his party is, you know, the party for ordinary folks and the people's army for common sense.
I think people like him because he's upfront and honest.
He's upfront.
But I don't know that his policies supported by
UKIP ain't been tried yet, have they? That's the problem with UKIP.
I think a lot of
they've
people
got good
voted.
policies, yeah. They look at thinking of the country as a whole, but they're not tried and tested, so.
No, they're not.
You know,
It's
but
going
I'm
to
kind
show
of looking
before, isn't
good
it?
for them. I think they seem all right to me.
Do other people agree with Peter's point there? Nice looking policies, but haven't not tried and tested yet?
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I just said, I don't know his other policies. I only know the ones that
he's got any other
he
policies,
said,
has
no. I did hear that he was talking about he don't believe in social housing, that everyone should buy their own house.
Well, he launched his manifesto last week, in fact in this very hotel, in one of the other rooms. I mean, this is where he gave his big speech to the nation, where he launched the manifesto. I mean, to take something like the health service then, we don't know his policy, but what do we think it's likely to be? What UKIP policy is likely, do we think? Is it more money into the health service, less money, privatise it, close it down?
Privatise it.
Yes.
Privatise it?
I think he's into privatisation.
What's that, Conservatives?
No,
UKIP. What do we think? I know we don't know about that.
They have said something along them lines, but that ain't right, is it, you know? But
so we think
that's one
UKIP
thing.
would want to privatise the health service?
Yeah, but it was taken out of text. He said there would be a time when the it looks like that the health service will be privatised, but I don't trust him enough to, you know, put him in power where he may do that. When you think of all the money, as you said, that your mum, your dad, your family's all put into it, and suddenly now you've got to pay insurances.
Okay.
So,
That's interesting.
unless I know more about his policies with the NHS, I'm a bit suspect of him.
About that. What about on, say, education?
I don't think he said a lot on
I
it.
know we don't know, but from what we know about him or his party, what would we guess he's likely to think?
I think we'll continue down the academy routes. All I see UKIP as being ultra right-wing conservatives.
So like more Tory than the Tories.
We've seen it all before. You know, they're nothing more than, you know, say going back to Thatcher's era.
That's interesting. Where do other people see you? You know, people sometimes talk about this left-right spectrum, where Labour is sort of left-wing and the Tories are slightly right-wing. I mean, where do people, in their minds, see UKIP? Are they in the centre? Are they where the Conservatives are? Are they more to the right than the Conservatives?
Right.
I think,
I think they're more conservative.
More Conservative than Conservative.
They will use their policies, but bring in their own to add to them, I think.
Okay, fair enough. And we just haven't mentioned, what about the Liberal Democrats? What have they said they'd do if
anything that gives them a bit of power.
They've said that it was ladies' sanitary products are going to be free, isn't it?
I think that's for
Well, I ain't going to benefit
That's the only thing I can remember them saying.
Criminalisation.
I think it's curriculum. They're going to take that off. Fair enough. So which of, I mean, you know, at the election you get to choose everything. You can vote on the policies, you can vote on the parties, you can vote on the leaders. Which of the leaders do you think will make the best Prime Minister? I mean, realistically, actually, you've only got two choices.
I reckon
It's either David Cameron again or Ed Miliband. They're your two choices for Prime Minister. As much as you may want it to be Nicola Sturgeon.
She talks sense.
But she can't be your Prime Minister.
But I'm saying she actually talked sense and she offered a partnership with Labour and he blankly turned her down.
If you could vote for the SNP, do you think you'd be tempted?
I would be, yeah. Come across as quite intelligent.
They don't want to be with us though, why would you?
No, but I'm saying she knew what she was talking about. She had all her facts and figures in. She made the others look silly as far as.
Okay, she just seemed more capable.
Yeah.
Came across as strong?
She's very strong, but I mean, you know, who wants the Scottish people there that look after the English?
But then Margaret Thatcher sounded like that, didn't she?
So you can't have Nicola Sturgeon because she can't get enough MPs to be Prime Minister. So but what you can have is David Cameron again or Ed Miliband. They are the two choices. Of the two of them, which do you think would make the best Prime Minister?
You know what, rather than no government completely, you know, that's the problem. We've got Labour and Conservatives, and that's all it's ever been really.
Yeah.
It's only a two-party thing all the time, isn't it? Apart from this once coalition with Lib Dem. I'd like to, you know, I know they've only got, all we've got is UKIP really to go by. There's no one else, is there? That's the problem. So it's either going to be Labour or Conservatives again.
Yeah.
I've always voted Conservatives, I go down.
Do you think it's just because that's what you always do, or do you think he's actually better? He'd make a better Prime Minister than Ed Miliband would?
Well,
Well,
We don't know because he's not getting
exactly that point.
He's been in the public eye for 5 years.
See,
you get some type of hunt as to what he might be like.
Better the devil you know. I don't know. I'm more like that. But I disagree with everything, with some of what Labour do and Conservative.
Okay.
So unless Labour really turn around and really impress me, I'm going to stick with
what you know.
So to me, he makes a better one.
Okay. Is that other people's view as well? Better to stick with what you know? Or other people think it's time for change and we should get Ed Miliband in?
No.
What do you think, Fred?
As much as I don't want to, I suppose I'd end up voting Labour to go against the Conservatives because I don't know where his hostility is going to.
But it's a sort of a vote against the Conservatives rather than a vote for Labour, if that makes sense. Okay. Does anybody think, anybody think Ed Miliband would make a good Prime Minister? Is he up to the job?
I think he's up to the job.
As long as he don't eat bacon sandwiches.
Businesses don't think so, do they? You know?
Businesses don't think so?
They're more conservative. Small businesses, a lot of them are big, like over 100 people, and it just signed up for small businesses to keep conservative, rather than Labour. It's all down to the best of the country, and who's going to get jobs going, who's going to, get the welfare sorted out, get the NHS sorted. But none of them seem to do it when they get 5 years and we're back at square one again, I don't know.
Join together, on that way, best of both.
That's what we've had this time, isn't it? Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better for the Conservatives and the Labour to make a coalition?
Can we come back to that later? Only because thousands of words have been written on the permutations. The point that he made about business and business are backing the Conservatives, is that, or at least aren't backing Labour, does that weigh in your mind? Is that a factor at all? Does who business thinks would be good for the country matter to you?
If you're a business person, Conservatives,
I can see, if I'm in a big business, the Tories might be better in this time. But as ordinary voters who I don't think have your own big businesses, does it matter if big businesses support one party rather than another party? Does it affect who you vote for?
Not sure, really.
A couple of weeks ago, there was sort of 100 business leaders signed this letter backing the Conservatives saying, Labour, crudely speaking, I'm paraphrasing, Labour would be a disaster, you should vote for get the Conservatives back into government. Does that have any effect on you? Does that make you think, we're safe in the hands?
No, they're getting a good deal, so they're going to keep the Conservatives in.
Because they like the deal they've got.
You're not going to go against somebody who's dropping taxes and everything, and you're earning more money out of it, so you're not going to go against them.
Okay. Well, what should the next government do with big businesses? Is the government's job to try and encourage big business and give them those tax breaks to try and help them grow? Should government rein business in and try to take more of their profits in taxes?
Well, if they've got the business, they're going to grow anyway, whether you tax them or not.
But there are things the government can do to make it easier to grow your business, to help you.
As long as they put money back into the business where the workers who are working from are going to come out with a little bit as well. But they don't, they just draw that money in for themselves.
Yeah, there was an article about it, where one of them said that they was going to make, I can't remember which party it was, businesses give more money to their staff, so it had to be fairly shared.
But it won't happen, will it?
Well, I don't agree with it, because I think if you've worked hard at putting up your own business, I don't see why you should actually pay more people.
Yeah, but if you've got concessions from the government to cut your costs and it's going into your pocket rather than your workers.
But I think this was applied to small businesses as well, and a lot of small businesses, if you develop your own business, I don't see that you should actually then give a big slice of that back to people. That's like socialism, really. Giving you incentives.
If you're talking about small businesses, but we're talking about businesses on a whole that are earning big money anyway. People like the BBC themselves. They coin in so many millions a year out of our
But surely all big businesses start as small businesses. You start as a small business, you work hard, and then hopefully, touch wood 10 years down the line, you're now a big business doing well.
That's the whole point of being a free country, isn't it? You actually develop and grow. If you're paying your taxes, if the government sets correct taxes, then I think that's fair. It's the ones that get away with not paying the taxes that you need to kind of, address. But everybody else, you should be allowed to.
To take a couple of examples of things that various people say government could do. One thing is to set some cap on how much managers can be paid. So you can set a ratio so that the highest paid person in business couldn't earn more than, say, 10 times the lowest paid person in business. So if the lowest paid person in business was getting £20,000 a year, the highest paid person couldn't ever get more than £200,000 a year. to stop that gap between ordinary workers and managers being too big?
Don't think it could be that prescriptive, to be honest. All in favour of basically people earning, being able to earn a decent living wage, though, and very much in favour of the minimum wage being increased as well, which again Miliband has said that it'll increase up to £8.
Living wage.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, today, before we had the minimum wage, like if you went for a job, you could negotiate your wages. Now, most jobs that are advertised for people, it starts at the minimum wage. So they've got, the employees have got a figure in their head before they even have that job become vacant that, yes, they can pay that amount of pounds and nobody can say anything about it. So we're stuck on the minimum wage for most jobs that are vacant.
Okay.
So it ain't been a tremendous thing, has it?
You don't think it's been a success?
No, I don't think
Would
so.
you get rid of it?
Well,
It needs
that's
to be.
hard, isn't it? How do you get rid of it and still hope that the governors are going to give the people a fair wage?
Would you could increase the minimum wage? I mean, Labour have said they'll increase
As
it by
that
the end of
lady
the next...
said, some small businesses can't afford to pay more.
Yeah. Not easy running the country.
No, but when you're getting the majority of jobs at the minimum wage, that's wrong, isn't it?
Okay, is that how... That's interesting. Fine. Something else people have said politicians should do is to limit bonuses in big companies and in banks so that you can either scrap them all together or limit the size of them.
Well, I think them bonuses in the bank is disgusting.
Yeah.
They're doing their day's work, what they've been paid to do, and whether they earn £1 billion or whether they earn £10, they get their wages, but they shouldn't get them big bonuses at the end of the year.
What do other people think about that?
People don't get it, do they?
Well, they put us in the mess that we're in now in the first place, and they're still raking it in, aren't they, through bonuses? So, says it all.
I mean, 10 years ago, before we got into this mess, no one really cared about bankers' bonuses. I'm sure they're all getting bonuses and doing well themselves, but no one really cared. So is it just because we're in the mess we're in that it matters, or is there some sort of moral thing that we're getting people getting bonuses or being that well paid altogether?
I don't think people didn't care. I think that we were moving along earning a reasonable wage at the time and we just overlooked it. We weren't that interested. It wasn't until they cost us billions that then we started to speak about it.
So if a party said, elect us and we'll ban bankers' bonuses?
Well,
good idea, bad idea?
I know, I wouldn't like to say.
If a party said, elect us and we'll ban bonuses for bankers?
Morally, it's a good idea.
Control things like that though.
You can pass that to Parliament.
But if someone say about taxing bonuses.
Yeah, or maybe not ban them. Maybe you'd whack a 90% tax on them, so you know, 90% every pound you take.
Why not?
Yeah.
They're not skinned, are they? You know what I mean? They're not skinned. Why not?
But then do you just leave it bankers then? What about, again, you said your disclosure.
Yeah.
More expensive executives that are earning, probably getting the same sort of bonuses as bankers are getting. Where do you draw the line? Then what kind of society are you then developing?
But you can't do
But
just
couldn't you
one
limit it?
without doing the others as well.
Couldn't you limit it?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, if you're on government, you can pass laws saying pretty much anything you want. So, but no bonuses above £10,000 or something. Yeah, you could do that.
Well, I'd go for that.
Should somebody do that? Or, as I think James suggested, so there'd be a bit more freedom, and if you're a business you want to pay that, you should be able to pay that.
Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with it. It's one of the biggest bugbears that most people in this country that don't work for a bank.
Oh no, I can see you're against them doing it, but should they have the?
Yeah, I don't
they
know
should
if
have the
that's
freedom to
excessive,
do
but
it.
I do think that where do you draw the line? That's probably my question. What kind of,
Well, I don't understand the wages that the bank managers do earn, like millions a year.
Yeah.
They get this big bonus as well on top of a massive wage.
Yeah, that's what.
Do you know what I mean? It just don't,
that's
especially the way the
wrong.
country is. That's what people are annoyed with, I think, because it's just ridiculous. It just don't seem
They
right
don't make
with a lot of
anything.
people.
They don't do anything.
They don't make anything. They're not like Fords who made cars and they ended up with a profit at the end of it.
Yeah.
They don't make anything. All they do is they buy crops from another country and buy it in bulk and then bring it to this country and sell it off at their price, earning their profits.
So here's my question then. I mean, I've been doing this job for 7 or 8 years, and virtually that entire time, people have been angry about bankers' bonuses. But lots of things in life you just get used to. why is it that sort of 7 years after the crash, whatever it is, we're all still this angry about it? You know, most things you get used to, oh, they took my favourite TV show off the air. You don't 7 years later still feel angry about it. Why is it that
It's highlighting more though.
Because of the bailout. The money what we had to put in there to bail them out of problems.
Yeah.
What they got into themselves.
Right.
And the government's allowed them to do it. I think it was a Labour government at the time, but...
Yeah. Would any of the parties, if elected in 2 weeks' time, do anything about business and about bonuses and about pay, do you think? Or are they all would they just leave it as it is?
The Green Party would.
They should freeze all bonuses for another 5 years and get the money in the country and start getting the country built up with more jobs and things like that. Use the money to create jobs with. Why give it to one person? And that could be used for benefiting other people as well.
To be fair, I can see where you come from, because like, as a public sector worker, I feel like every time there has been a national problem and debt's been incurred, it's been the public sector, because we are, you know, paid by the governments, that we actually always lose out. I can go back probably, well, I've been working in public sector for about 15, 20 years now. And
it's always the same trend.
It's yeah, all the way through. You know, we have pay freezes, but you know. So
I mean, we take pay freezes.
But then I choose to do that job, I suppose. That's down to me, isn't it? I choose into that.
Okay. Dave, I mean, who do you think, you know, come May, which party do you think would do the best job on the economy? Well, not just of helping the rich, but helping ordinary people like, you know, the 12 of us in this room.
It's weird. I listen to them all.
Yeah.
I do listen to. They exploit each other's gaps. They want to come up, always work on housing and all that.
Yeah.
But obviously, big everyone else up, everyone's on the bandwagon. And then the other party are coming on the other side of it where the deficit is. And it's been going on for years. It's like puppets up there, it's the same old thing. Oh, here we go again, like housing, immigration, education. Like, we big something up, we do something, get everyone on our board, and the other party comes in on the other side. What's actually failing? And they start doing that. That's 5 years here, 5 years there. You know, so they all have great ideas. I just think the country runs itself. No matter who comes in, who comes out. It really, I do laugh at it. Everyone just jumps on it. Oh well, this is all happening, and I think it's funny. From my point of view, it's so comical, and you get everyone doing that, and they promise this, and
don't deliver it.
They get everyone like the old dangling carrots to them all the time.
Okay.
But it's just no matter what, whether it's education, whether it's housing, whether it's this, they'll all start something off. You know, but we've got to realise there's a world problem out there, not just this country. The world affects us. So we were just talking about immigration and all that. We should be doing this, we should be doing that. It ain't just this country. It's a world problem out there, and it's a sad thing is when people are risking their lives, dying and coming through this side. It's just what is the message going on to everyone in this world? It's not just this country. It's every country. And I'm really saddened by every code gets on the band, but we kind of this country is jam packed, but there's a world problem out there that world needs to sort out, not just this country.
Okay.
Isn't it we're one of the highest tax countries in Europe? The taxes that this country pays, and we've got people going to food banks. I can't understand it. Something's wrong when you've got people who have to go to a food bank because they can't afford to live or what they're eating on. And yet the taxes that this country pays and draw in. So it's going somewhere and it's not going in people's wage packets.
Okay. I mean, they mentioned, I know we talked about
I
earlier.
won't put it down on it, it's just kind of the case of
sure.
things like...
It's on the immigration.
It's frustrating.
So to pick up on immigration, which of the parties has got sort of the right approach on that, do we think? Or which is the closest having the right approach? I think we've got four or five big parties in the UK. Who do you think's got it right?
Dangerously UKIP. They're the only one willing to talk about it.
That's what made me actually look at UKIP.
Yeah, but I mean, it can be dangerous the way they talk.
Until they mentioned about immigration, and then suddenly I was listening.
Yeah, well, I think most people did.
Yeah.
It's a real issue. It's a real issue.
So what is it that UKIP have said? Because there are quite a lot of nods there. What is it that UKIP have said they'll do?
Work on a points basis.
Yeah, they're
like
going to do the same
Australia.
as Australia, aren't they?
Yeah,
Work on a points basis that you can only get, so you can only come in if you've got so much. You can only if you're, you know, work based.
Right.
You know, you've got a skill.
Okay, so you've got a skill or sort of education.
If you've got a job to come to, and we need that sort of work, then you
but
get.
We're still doing the black market. We're still doing the modern slavery. It's, as a country, everyone's turned a blind eye for years, and we've let people like with the Chinese cocklers and everything. It's been going on years, but this country allows it.
Yeah.
This country allows that people living in poverty or coming over. It's paved in gold, and they exploit people. People's exploited.
But not only our country.
No. It's a world issue.
You know, I know people have got children that have gone over to Australia, and to get their visa, they've gone and worked on farms for a pittance. You know, but the same as what they do in this country, work for a pittance, but it just showed that they had money coming in and they worked.
Yeah, but in Cochrane,
So
it was illegal everything.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. There's a problem. There's a problem that we.
I can see when people here are illegally or being exploited. I mean, is the problem that the UK just has too many people coming in of whatever type, or is the problem actually the numbers not a problem, but people are coming in without the right skills, without the right
It's too many
income?
coming over for asylum. That's the trouble. We're allowing.
France are going mad, aren't they? I'm not being funny. They're coming from. We're saying about the French people, but they've got the problem people coming through there causing problems around there.
But why do they want to come to England? So obviously we must be a soft touch.
Could it be because they all speak English already and it's a global language?
You've got the NHS.
Well, the majority of the French speak English.
It's NHS.
But they get to France and they want to come over to here.
We're tolerant. We are tolerant.
I thought asylum was the first country you arrive in, that's where you take asylum, but they're not even asking for asylum in Germany, and that they're working their way to England.
So,
They come straight here.
I mean, of all the people sort of coming to the UK, then what do you think the balance is between those looking to come for, I suppose we call economic migrants, or want to move here, versus those claiming asylum? Is it half and half, a third asylum and 2/3 sort of planned migration, 2/3 asylum claimers, a third economic people moving around?
It's happened fast for the last 15. It's happened really, really fast. There's a lot of change in it.
Right.
There's a lot of
15
change.
I mean, that's the trouble as well. It's been a lot.
And it's been a lot.
And it's been overlooked. Nobody's taken that.
No one's saying nothing. No one's really doing nothing.
Once they get in here, I mean, to get them back and send them out of the country, I reckon it's going to take 50 years.
To pick on two of those points, I mean, I thought the reason it got sort of faster in the last 10-15 years was that Europe had expanded and there's lots of people from Poland or Bulgaria.
We went into the European Union, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that opened gates for.
But I mean, then if you're moving from Poland or Bulgaria or wherever, or Lithuania, you're not claiming asylum.
No, they're just coming here to work.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of people that are here that shouldn't be here, and there's no way of getting them back. They just keep appealing against being kicked out of the country.
No, but if they're from they're from the European country, they can stay here.
Oh yeah, but it's the illegal migrants. I mean, they don't even lock them up. They just go to the police station and then let them go.
24 hours, isn't it?
I mean,
And they don't.
So you've got to be put back
Back
in
in 24 hours and they never see
it needs laws that says if you're in here illegal, you're going out of here within 7 days and put them through a court within 7 days and ship them back out.
Okay. Look, I've been talking a bit. I've got a couple of videos saved on the laptop, if I can get it to work. Just of some of the different parties. I don't want to sort of play about 30 seconds of each of them, and then we'll have a bit of a talk about what they're like. Why don't we start with, and apologies if the sound is either too quiet. Let's start with the Lib Dems, because we haven't spoken about them very much yet. Don't worry if you can't see the screen too much, it's more the sound. I think it's probably the interesting bit.
The Liberal Democrats will add a heart to a Conservative government and a brain to a Labour one. Every Liberal Democrat MP makes Labour's reckless borrowing less likely. Every Liberal Democrat MP makes George Osborne's ideological cuts less likely. And every Liberal Democrat MP is a barrier between Nigel Farage and Alex Salmond and the door to 10 Downing Street.
Yeah,
This manifesto is a...
I mean, a couple of points the Liberal Democrats are making, we haven't spoken about a lot yet. One is, I mean, one of the points they make is they think after the election there'll be some type of coalition again. And it's unlikely one party will get a clear majority. And what Nick Clegg is saying is that actually the Lib Dems are a great influence in government because they can give, as he says there, a heart to the Conservatives and a brain to the Labour Party, and that actually you probably want your next government to have some Lib Dems in. Does he have a point there? Has the past government done a better job because they've been in coalition than they would have done if it was all Tory?
Did he get
No, I
his
don't think
things
he's done a
through?
lot.
I was just
Half his policies didn't actually get past the back door, did they?
Is there
I
anything?
don't think half of his policies got.
Well, university fees went up to 9,000 a year.
That's what they're saying. The Democrats, they said no
He said he
tuition
would do it.
fees, and that was
Okay.
He didn't have the guts to stand by his
No.
convictions.
Yeah.
Is there anything this past government's done that you can point out apart from tuition fees and go, that's Nick Clegg's work or that's the Liberal Democrats?
Well, no, it's been shadowed.
No, sure. But I mean, so there's nothing that comes to...
It's probably has, but I mean, government take
He did fulfil something, obviously.
If I said sort of free school meals for all kids under the age of seven, and raising the level at which you don't pay tax, so sort of 10,800 something.
Was that a Lib Democrat?
Yeah, but did he do it?
I work for school meals, I should know that, shouldn't I?
Yeah, so both those things have happened.
Did the Conservatives allow him to do it?
What?
Well, if it happened,
They must have thought it was a good idea.
The nature of the parliamentary system is you have to have a majority of people voting for it, so yes, they voted for it. But the Lib Dems would say, we invented that idea, we pushed it through, we made it happen.
Yeah, but we don't know that, do we? You see, they say enough, they don't believe anything they say. When they say they come up with that idea, did they come up with that idea?
It was in their manifesto last election. I mean,
Well, so was...
so would, if the next government was a Labour government, would it benefit from having some Lib Dems involved? Or would an all-Labour government with no Lib Dems be a better government?
I think it would be a good idea for more than one party to run the country.
But we're not exactly giving this last thing 5 years a glow review, are we?
No. But different people have different ideas of how to do certain things.
Yeah.
And it's in the basics, it's not a bad idea to have more than one view. But it doesn't seem to work, does it?
It always have to be like, I think, because it wasn't split well, was it? So, I mean, if it's split sort of 50-50 or, you know, equally, maybe then, but then that would probably create so many problems and issues because they never actually agree on anything and nothing never get done.
So, even though I would vote Labour, I'll be interested to know what happens if Conservatives get in, to see what happens at 2017 about this European vote. That's something I'll be really interested in seeing what way that goes, you know.
Okay.
It really is, like, it does, you know. Boggles our mind, doesn't it? You know, what the vote, what way it will turn.
Have other people noticed that the Conservatives have promised a referendum on Europe by or before 2017? Yes.
Yeah.
Carol had noticed it. Does it make a difference to you? Is that a good thing for them to have said they'll do? They've promised that before or during 2017 there'll be a referendum and you can vote to stay in Europe or get out of Europe.
That's what we need, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Well, yeah. I hope so.
I mean,
I just think it'd be a bad thing to come out of it now.
I don't
because
think
we're
it
so
could
much
come out.
tied in.
Yeah.
But
I'd like us to come out but renegotiate terms. I think trades.
I mean, we all know obviously where UKIP stand in Europe. Labour and the Liberal Democrats, what have they said about a referendum?
They don't want it.
Yeah, I mean,
Labour doesn't.
They said they want them.
They want to stay in Europe.
Okay, let me show you other videos. Why don't we do David Cameron, the Conservatives, next? Again, so don't worry about the video, it's more just what he's saying.
Today I'm going to see the Queen in Buckingham Palace to mark the dissolution of Parliament, and that will be the start of what is the most important general election campaign in a generation. When I became Prime Minister 5 years ago, this country was on the brink. Millions were out of work, family budgets were badly squeezed, the economy was in real difficulty, and people were worrying whether this country could pay its debts. 5 years on, we haven't solved every problem, but the deficit's down, the country's getting back to work, we're growing strongly, we're a success story again, and we should stick to the plan that is really delivered.
Is he right? Should we stick with the plan? I mean, are things better than they were 5 years ago?
Well, apparently, for a lot, deficit ain't down. It's gone up. So it's only him saying it's gone down.
Is the country in a better state or a worse state than it was 5 years ago?
Doesn't feel better.
Doesn't feel better?
No.
I think there's more jobs around.
I think
Certainly
it's
more
better.
employment.
Better?
I think it's better.
The government would say they've created something like 1,000 new jobs a day, and in total they've created 2 million new jobs while they've been in.
Yeah, it's mostly minimum wage.
Yeah, lots of 0 hour contract jobs.
People in Europe, you know,
Yeah,
that's
between
that they can get away with.
But people are still working, they're not on the job, they're still working.
But they've also raised the school leaving age, haven't
Yeah,
they?
so that took away people coming up and going.
When they took over, there was so many millions out of work. It's only you couldn't have gone down any more because the country would have stopped. You had to go back up.
And that's precisely what they say, is that if you look in parts of Europe, if you look at Spain or Portugal or Greece, that's exactly what happened. You know, unemployment in Spain is something like 1 in 4 people. It could have got, you know, they would say it's not as good as we'd like it to be, but it's got a lot better.
But they don't produce a lot.
We've avoided the nightmare of what happened in Spain or Portugal or Italy or Greece.
But they don't produce, and not a country like us that's supposed to be manufacturing country. I know that's all gone down from the 70s, but what does Spain produce? Tomatoes. What does Greece produce? What put out to the world?
Olives.
What do we produce?
We don't nothing.
Most of our banking is worldwide, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
we used to have the big companies that produced and sold around the world. I suppose a lot of the small companies still produce and export.
Okay.
But I mean, Spain don't do a lot of that.
If there's I'll share one other fact that David Cameron says quite often, which is that there's something called the G8 economies, which are the big Western economies, the United States, Canada, us, France, Germany. We have the fastest growing economy of all those countries. Our economy is growing faster than France's, Germany's, Italy's, America's, Canada's. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah. But you know, if that's the case, then maybe we should give them another 5 years.
But they've also got people off the down, haven't they? They reduced that down. They said that people, you know, they'd have to have this, and this before they could get the you know, and that's reduced, isn't it? Because people have got off their bums because they're realising they ain't going to get any money and they've got a job. So they've done that as well.
Okay, brilliant. Look, 2 more videos to show you, one for Labour and one for UKIP. Let me do the UKIP one next. Just say, this coincidentally is this very hotel.
We want a trade deal with Europe. We want to be good neighbours with our European friends, but we desperately seek a referendum so that we can set this country free from political union. And there is no third way. There is no renegotiation of any value that is to be had in Brussels. So our position is perfectly clear. We want our country back. We want an Australian-style point system so that we can choose the quantity and type of people who come to live, work and settle in our country. So we simply won't allow foreign criminals to come to this country. And all migrants that come to Britain will have to have their own health insurance. And nobody will be able to access the benefit system until they've been in Britain for 5 years, paid their taxes and obeyed the law. Something, of course, that is, again, only possible outside membership of the European Union.
What do we make of that?
Well, if that's going to stop foreigners coming here, it certainly will, won't it?
I like that bit.
You like that
That's the bit that made me take note of them.
Okay.
I think that's the bit that made most people stand up and think, well, what he's saying is right.
Yeah.
Have they done enough though to make people go from? I think I agree with them that to and I'll put my mark in the box.
That's not enough.
No.
That's not enough.
No.
It doesn't seem to have any other policies.
It's a good
But
one.
he's saying he wants migrants to have their own private health insurance. Well, what migrants, you know, if they're coming to this country because they've got no money, they're not going to have any insurance, are they?
That's the point of the policy. You won't be allowed in unless you've got that, and
So
if you can't afford it.
Political, you know, you're coming here for asylum. Does that mean, is that any different? 5 years, you've got to get in, you've got to get a job, you've got to work.
Nice for to make a similar point to one some you have made about claiming asylum in the first country you come to.
Yeah.
And so there will be fewer people claiming asylum in the UK if you've come from France or somewhere else. Okay, and then just in the interest of fairness, this is the Labour Party video. This one comes with a jazzy soundtrack.
Today I present our plan for the working people of our country. On behalf of all of you in our party, who have contributed to it, and on behalf of all of you in our country who have inspired it. This plan shows there is no trade-off between being disciplined and making a difference. The plan we lay before you is no less ambitious because we live in a time of scarcity. It is more ambitious because it starts from a clear commitment to balance the books, and because it does not stop there. My vow to you, the British people, everything in this manifesto is funded. The deficit will be cut every year.
What do you think of that?
He didn't say anything.
Didn't say anything. Right. Well, the video's on. I mean,
I was thinking that. I kept thinking,
fair enough. Well, look. I mean, earlier on though, they're going to increase the minimum wage to £8. They're going to ban zero contracts. Like clearly, some things Labour say they'll do. Are they? They haven't been in power for the last 5 years. Have they set out a convincing case for what they will do if they get in power in 2 weeks' time? Do we know what a Labour government would look like? What they'd do?
I don't know. I voted Labour last time, but I don't think I will.
No? No, you're not sure?
I don't think so, no.
Can you something the Conservatives said a lot is that you can't trust them with the economy. They're the people who broke the economy, they're the people who got us into this terrible mess, and you just can't trust Ed Miliband and Ed Balls with the economy again. What do we think of that?
He's a different person to Tony Blair and Gordon Brown to start off. Different policies, different person. They're not going to go down the same route as last Labour, are they? So why not? Give them a chance as well. Give them all a chance.
Yeah, that's it. Do you take the chance?
Let's get the best one out of the lot.
Do you take the chance and go with the people you know? That's the point, isn't it?
See, to be honest, we was all sailing along when Blair was in power, but that was because the world was bubbling along.
It wasn't very popular by the end, though.
Not by the end, it wasn't when it come to the wars. But I mean, apart from that, when he took power, it seemed to lift the country. I don't think Ed Miliband's got that sort of charisma.
Can you see him being Prime Minister?
No.
He doesn't seem to have.
Don't know. I can't. I'm sorry,
But
I
it's
don't
not
know.
him, is it? I know he's the front, but it's the policies behind the party that's important that should be looking at, I think, not the person.
Is it? And is that true just because people vote on different things? And in some people it is the front man, some people it is the policies.
No, when Blair told you something, you believed him. When Miliband tells you something, you just think, yeah, I've heard that before.
Anyone want to speak in Ed's defence? I'll go on 5.
Yeah, it's a bit like you said over there, we're not voting for a president, we're voting for policies, we're voting for a party, we're voting for principles and a manifesto. I can't get into the Americanisation of politics in this country that we see people on that pedestal. It's not Ed Miliband, it's the Labour Party.
Yeah. I think he's strong enough. He stuffed his buffer in the back to get there.
I think a lot of it's been done bad press. But he's not been he's not been sort of generated the same way I think Cameron has. Initially when it came the two brothers fighting for the party, the place, and he was less charismatic. And I think since then that's the press has grabbed onto that are against the Labour Party and driven that way. And that's the picture you've got.
Okay. Jason, when you vote, is it about the leader? Is it about the party? Is it about the policies?
Policies, yeah. I like the UKIP policy. Immigrants, NHS.
So I have to like it all. I have to like the front man too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, look, we talk about national politics a lot. I want to talk about local politics for a minute. Who's the local MP? Who's currently your MP?
Doyle Price, it's the lady, isn't it? No, that's Tim Atkins.
Tim Atkins.
Or Acker. The UKIP one.
Yeah, who's currently the MP?
Don't think there is one, is there?
Alright, until a month ago when the campaign started. Yeah, Jackie Doyle-Price.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking.
Who is Conservative.
Conservative.
Okay, and her challengers, who would like, so she's running to keep her job, and her challengers, Tim Acker, the UKIP guy, and who's the Labour one, without looking at the leaflet?
It's another lady.
That's a lady, I don't know her name.
It's Polly Billington.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, Polly somewhere.
Polly Billington.
Yes, Polly.
I'm terrible with names, I don't remember people's names.
Okay, what type of MP is Jackie Doyle-Price? Good MP? High profile? Has she done anything for you?
I've never seen her.
Never seen her? Well, clearly a majority of people last time locally voted for her, so she must have said or done something last time to get your vote.
Yeah, it was get Brown out, wasn't it?
To get Brown out, yeah.
I like some of the things she does too now.
Is that one of the leaflets?
Yeah.
What has Jackie Doyle-Price said she'll do?
Proposed plans for a new river crossing in Thurrock, creating new schools and new school places, protecting our green belt, which I really do go with, tackling illegal travel encampments, again that's a good one, better health services, and no to merging with Barking and Dagenham. I'm not saying I agree with all of that, but certain.
But there's enough there to make me think, yeah.
A couple of things that are very important to know.
Have people had stuff, I'm guessing the answer is yes, you can tell me if it's not. Have you started getting stuff through the door now?
Time.
Yeah, most of it goes in the bin, I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day? Is it so?
And I'm going around the streets with the old.
Is any of that sinking in locally?
No.
Well, every party's got something good about them, they're saying,
Yeah.
or they're saying something good,
Yeah.
but you ain't got one party that's saying everything good.
No.
So
That's not gonna
who do you
happen.
vote for?
That's the
That is the dilemma.
Yeah. I mean, UKIP's got, as I said, Europe and the immigrants, they've got lovely policies there, and we agree with all that, but we don't know what else is. And Labour's got, as you say, like these policies, and some of them are good.
So if this Jackie Doyle-Price is currently your MP, who do you think her biggest challenger is in May? Who's most likely to take her job?
Tobacco, probably in this borough.
Yeah.
Yeah, this area.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it wouldn't surprise me if UKIP don't get it.
They did quite well last time, didn't they?
Tim Ackford is a good guy.
They did really well.
I can see him. Yeah, I can see him
when he was in.
I could actually see him sneaking in, man.
Yeah. So I mean, you may not know you were in one of UKIP's top target seats. So if they're going to get MP, Thurrock is sort of one of the 4 or 5 seats where it's most likely to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, people have got billboards in their garden.
No, in the cab on the way here, I saw it. So I mean, if Tim Acker is your, the UKIP candidate, what has he said? If he's elected an MP, what's he going to do? I mean, obviously, he wants us out of Europe. That's in the name. What else? He's going to be your MP. What's he said he's going to do?
I think he's just said basically exactly the same as what Nigel Farage says. I don't think he says anything any different.
Right.
I think he's just like his little puppet.
That's what they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going on the immigrations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no matter what UKIP candidate, they're all going to say exactly the same as what they're told to say.
Sure, but there are clearly some locally. I mean, they're not somewhere else going to talk about opposing a river crossing or merging with another borough. I mean, do you know where he stands? Has he said anything about local issues?
They want another bridge, don't they? They want another bridge put up over here, don't they?
So you can before that.
Yeah, I think they are for that.
Whereas the Tory is, according to the leaflet, is against that. Interesting.
One that knocked on my door, he was saying, over where Fords is in South Ockenden, they knock Fords down, they're building houses. We're getting a lot of people, foreign people from Newham, because they bought the ground and built the houses. And he said, we're going to stop things like that happening in future. But I don't know how they can. If the council buys land to build houses, I can't see why Thurrock didn't buy the land, but apparently Newham bought the land.
What about the Labour candidate, Polly Billington? I know Jane's got the leaflet. Anyone else said or heard anything from them? Because I mean, they were a very close second last time. It was only about back in 2010.
I haven't even seen them around.
There was only about 1,000 votes in it, so it was very close.
UKIP's been around that area, so it's Conservatives haven't seen it.
In the European elections, UKIP got in, didn't they?
Yeah, UKIP won the European elections.
I mean, they flooded in, I think, round here, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I think they're a bit of a dark horse in this election.
Well, I mean, they're not a dark horse.
I mean, they're quite. I think they're quite up there.
They're quite up there. I mean, there's another polling organisation called Lord Ashcroft Poll, who did a poll here a couple of months ago, which pretty much has it as a three-way tie between the Tories, UKIP, and Labour. If you're into your politics, Thurrock's one of the most interesting places in the country right now.
Yeah.
Hence why we're here. But it's a three-way tie. There are many places in the country where there are three parties generally in it, all of whom it wouldn't be a surprise to get the Conservatives in, it wouldn't be a surprise to get UKIP in, it wouldn't be a surprise to get Labour in. It could be.
This used to be a Labour area, quite a big Labour area. For UKIP to get through like that was a kind of a shock, wasn't it, for Labour supporters, for sure. It's always been Labour mandate as far as I know.
What is it then that UKIP have done that have meant that people have voted Labour for years?
Immigration.
Immigration.
It really is.
I think it is 100% immigration.
Yeah. It is.
But that's been building around here for about 25 years, to be honest. You know, about 25, 30 years ago, the boat people all come over, didn't they? And we were flooded, absolutely flooded with like Cantonese and Vietnamese people. And then it's never really subsided from that.
Right.
And I think that's probably why it is such a big thing.
Even this government has let more in
Yeah.
than the Labour did, you know.
But
So
it done it in sections. Grays was the first one.
Yeah,
that got
that's
built up
right,
with them.
yeah.
Grays and Tilbury, and then it's come right across the borough now, hasn't it?
Was anybody any good at art at school?
I weren't bad.
Good. So there should be some pencils and bits of papers in front of you, and I want to take a break from talking, get you to do something else for me. One of the things we sometimes do, and it sounds quite odd, is that we sometimes think about political parties as if they were brands. So if you think about like a high street chain, if you think about Tesco's, you have an impression of Tesco's, and you might have an impression of the type of stuff they sell, but you can also sort of picture what their store looks like, or the type of people who shop there, or how you think they behave. And so I want to sort of do something else here. I want us to pretend for a couple of minutes that the political parties, rather than being political parties, are houses. So if the Conservative Party was a house, and what I would like you to do, if your art skills are up to it, is to get the pencil in front of you and a piece of paper and sketch out what, if the Conservative Party was a house, what would it look like?
Buckingham Palace.
Draw. Big house, small house, in the city, in the countryside. Is there a car on the drive?
Electric gates.
Does it have electric gates?
Swimming
You can sketch out very roughly. It's just, and then we will talk about it in a minute. But if the Conservative Party was a house,
Buckingham Palace looks.
Just draw a castle.
Castle.
say just draw a castle. But if they were a house, everything in here sounds very good. So sketch quickly. I'm lucky that there's no flip chart. Normally
I'm
the
not a
number
good
tries
drawer,
flip.
by the way.
That's fine. We can't all be good at everything. Well, I'm very excited already. So we've got a tower over here, what looks like quite a pleasant cottage. Big house, sun is shining, that's interesting. Another big house, it's green, it's number 10. I think there's a castle forming over here. Very good. Oh, very nice. 2 castles. I like this. That is an excellent. That's very Game of Thrones with the game. I like that.
Mine's castle and double fronted too.
Double fronted castle. Very nice. More big houses. Lots of windows.
I got a big garage.
Big garage. Very nice. And this is a house on top of the world.
You're right.
Okay. Well, look. You can put down your artifact pencils. So am I right in saying it's a big house? Is that a fair comment from people?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's tall. Yeah.
And it's tall.
But it's important it's tall.
Important. It's tall. Where is this house? In the city? In the countryside?
Countryside.
Country?
North of London.
Outdoor swimming pool.
London, definitely.
I didn't get a chance to do my garage.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So is there a garage?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got
After
built
2,
to it, yeah.
I've got a 2 doors carrying.
Okay, what type of car does the, so if the Conservatives was a house, what type of car do they drive?
We've got a drive.
A Lexus, that's very specific. Lexus?
Range Rover.
A Range Rover, because it's the country.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin.
A Lada.
I was seeing a theme developing, but now you've thrown me. Why a Lada?
Because they're pretty slow at the moment, aren't they?
Really slow at the moment. Okay, but for the rest of you, quite a luxurious big car. Is that fair?
Yeah.
What's the house like inside? Is it very traditional, very modern?
Antique.
Modern.
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 These pictures, they're terrible.
Solar panels on the way.
Solar panel.
A bit of money on the side.
That's the Green Party.
It's about moving forward, conservative. A
Okay,
little bit.
so they've put solar panels on this big house because they're more modern than they used to be, or because they think it's what people do nowadays.
You can earn.
So it's about earning money rather than taking the environment.
Earn money, yeah.
Okay, so in some traditional, Carol said it was quite modern inside.
All open plan.
Is that because all open plan?
I've got 2 kitchens in mine though, is that right?
So you've got a double garage as well, I've got one.
But you can't cook.
But you want to see what model drive
Does this house have a major housekeeper?
No.
Or do they?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely got a
No,
cleaner.
It's definitely got a cleaner.
Mm.
Okay. It's in the country. Whereabouts in the country is it? Is it somewhere near here? Is it somewhere in the north?
Buckinghamshire.
Cheshire.
Cheshire. Sorry. Okay. Good. If you can get a clean sheet of paper. What about the UKIP house?
Oh, it's going to be tiny. It's going to be tiny.
It's alright. If UKIP were a house, what would they be?
Be a pub, wouldn't it?
I like that. What would pub be called? That's a question.
Sorry, I think you might have to
UKIP's house can smash windows now.
Who's even playing?
Foreigners can smash windows.
Oh, very good.
Some of the small little house with a little Nissan Micra outside. Come on, Mum.
I'm intrigued.
Nothing, I've just wondered that.
Okay.
Oh, you wonder what I was thinking. I've seen your house now.
Mine's just a normal council house. Dagenham.
Dashing out.
Okay. I think there's a slightly sort of more diverse range of houses here, which is quite interesting. Jason, I'm going to start with you and just over what you said. So is yours sort of a normal house?
Yeah, mine's just a normal
It's a council, as he just said.
And is that because UKIP are just normal people living in normal houses?
I think so, yeah. I agree with that.
Wendy, is that the same as yours, just a normal house?
Yeah, well, I think they are just a normal, for the normal people.
So is
Mine's
that
on an island with a shark guard in it.
Who's the shark?
Yeah, what party?
Shark's
are
good,
they?
isn't it?
No, the UKIP, an island, loaded loaded.
okay? So they garden your house quite closely.
Yeah.
Mine's a pub.
Yours is a pub?
Yeah.
Because Nigel now, is that just because Nigel's always taken a photo of him holding his pint in the pub?
No,
or is that
it's his attitude. He likes his pint.
Yeah.
Like most, working class people, should I say? Well, no, not even just most people.
So it's a bit more traditional.
He smokes a cigarette on camera where people can see him doing it. Doesn't seem to care about his outlook. People see him as they're just his policies.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. Yeah, I do agree with that. He is.
So lives in a pretty normal house with normal people, goes to the pub like normal people, has a pint, smokes a cigarette.
I think he'd live in a pub.
He
I
lives
think
in
he'd
a
be
place
quite
where
happy
there's
to
5
live in
pubs,
it.
I think.
Yeah.
Down, there's about 5 pubs down there, so I like to find it.
Dave, is that Union Jack cosy for your house?
Yeah, he just wants you to be proud of where you are.
Okay.
Trying to get that message to all the angry people.
Jane, what is your house? If I can ask.
It's a mushroom.
It's a mushroom, very good.
Toadstool.
I thought it was a mushroom, but I wanted to check.
Or a toadstool.
Why is it a mushroom or a toadstool?
Other than the immigration things, I think I can't take him seriously. And to me, he's small.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that sounds true. Yeah, to me, when I thought of them or him, I thought of that a little toy town type of house. It's just how I feel.
So we might like some of his policies, but he's not a serious politician.
That's how I feel. Yeah, I like the immigration side of it, but
not
the
a
other
serious
3 big
player.
houses, he's in the little one. That's how I feel. Although he didn't have to be a mushroom.
Okay. Sorry, Peter, I can't quite read.
I've just done the same as Fred, really, with a pub, open all hours. That's it.
Okay. If you compare to this one more time, can we draw the Labour House? Or the Labour Party House? One last time, this feeling.
Three in the first place.
So if the Labour Party was a house, what would they be? We've had a big sort of on balance, big stately home for Conservatives, We've got an ordinary council house or a pub maybe, or maybe a toadstool for UKIP. What have we got for Labour? If Labour a house, what are they? Okay, so Jane, yours has got a cat, flowers. This looks like a nice house.
Yeah, to me, the Labour Party are kind of like the average Joe, working class family in there.
They've got a swing, they've got kids, there's a cat.
Yeah, that's what they were.
Okay. Jane, you've drawn a castle.
Yeah, they give the impression they want to be Lord of the Manor. They want to be posh.
So do you think they want to move from this to that if they can?
Yes.
Okay. Dave, you've got a block of flats.
Just there trying to even everyone up and just trying to make the most of everything.
Oh, look, like you can go from that to that to that.
Okay, that's right. In a good way. I mean, would they rather people moved out of those two very different types of properties and everyone lived in the same way?
Yeah, why not?
Is that the idea?
That's I just feel that's the way sometimes that's probably old Labour as well, trying to keep
people about the same.
Trying to keep them same. Which goes against people who's doing well.
Okay, so Clive, set of terraced houses? Regular streets?
Just terrace houses.
Okay, same thing as sort of the first James, ordinary people living normal life? Yeah, okay.
I've got an igloo.
Interesting and different.
Why have you got an igloo?
Well, they've been out in the cold for so long.
They want to come into the warm, very good. Another set of terrace houses?
Yeah.
Same sort of stuff, just normal people, normal homes?
Hopefully so.
Hopefully so. Okay. Anything different for that?
No, I've just done one a little bit bigger than their one.
Well, I started. I was going to do like that, a terraced house, a block of flats. I thought, no, actually, do you know what? They're just a normal person, so I just did the same house.
Okay. Let's try useful thinking. Look, I mean, all elections really come down to only two choices. You either get more of the same, better the devil you know, as Jane put it earlier, or you decide it's time for change. And that can come from different parties, and different colours, and different shades, but that's normally pretty much what your choice is. Either more of what you've got, or it's time for change.
Red or blue?
Red or blue. But at various stages, one will be time for change, one is stay the course, better the devil you know. And what's your hunt for this election? Is this a, it's not perfect, but let's see what we've got election? Is it a, it's time for a change election?
I think stick with what we got.
I think it's a stick with what we've got.
Can't do any worse.
No.
Can't do any worse. But you're not convinced you can do better either with somebody else?
No.
I think it's going to be Labour and a coalition.
That's a change then.
So that's change.
That's a change.
Yeah, I think that's what the country will look at overall.
What's your general consensus?
The latest polls I'm at the start, so pretty much neck and neck between the two big parties. So at the moment, neither party is likely to get a clear majority, which then puts you into some scope of some type of coalition. It might not be, because we've had over the last 5 years a really formal coalition, you know, where it's deputy prime minister. You could get what political people call confidence supply, which is where it's not a formal coalition, but you informally agree that we, whichever party, will back up you, the other party, and then you sort of vote by vote, policy by policy, come up with different little groupings. I mean, at the moment, there are probably three likely outcomes. One is another Conservative Lib Dem coalition, so it's a continuation of what we've already got. I mean, if you woke up, you know, on May the 8th, on Friday, May the 8th, and that's what you had, and you heard it's another Conservative Lib Dem coalition, is that safe? Is that disappointing?
I think disappointing. I reckon it won't be, because I don't think the Lib Dems are going to get enough seats to prop up Conservatives.
What would you feel if it was another Conservative Dem coalition, but as Fred said, the Lib Dems are taking a battering in polls? What if they lost half their MPs? They've currently got about 50 odd, 55-ish, and they went down to 25 MPs, and yet they were still re-government. What do you think of that? They lose half their MPs.
Liberal argument.
Yeah, Dems. They lose half their MPs, but there's still enough of them to prop up the Conservatives and stay in power. Is that all right? Would that seem a bit odd that you can lose half your MPs and stay in power?
In a coalition, it's possible.
Yeah.
But we
I don't like it.
that's what
You don't like it?
No, because then a small party has only got a few seats. It's got saying running the country.
23 seats anyway, haven't
The Conservatives have got hundreds of seats.
Oh, yeah, I thought that's what they have to get 23 to that.
No, they have to get that to be in total control.
Yeah, have to get 23 seats to be in total control.
They've got to get to be the largest party in the next parliament. You need, depending on how you count the speakers, something like 320 odd seats. 320. That's your goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And once when Blair was in power, he was always just massively over that. He had 100 spec. Whereas the last election, neither the Conservatives or Labour had enough seats to get to that 325 mark. So they both reached out to the Lib Dems. They had about 55 seats, and the Lib Dems did a deal with the Tories, which is why they're over the mark and Labour aren't. So what could happen if the Tories have a good night is they get, say, about 300 seats. The Lib Dems get, say, 25-30 seats. So they can still do a deal that gets them just about over that mark. But it's an interesting thing that the Lib Dems could lose half their seats, and yet wake up the next day and still be in power, and thanks very much.
I think that's what sticks in people's throats, but it's the only way it's going to happen this time.
Okay, so that's one possibility. Possibility number two is that it's a Labour Liberal Democrat coalition, that the Lib Dems basically swap over and do a deal with Ed Miliband and prop up a Labour government. I mean, what would you think if the Lib Dems did that and basically swap sides?
Don't really be much difference.
Wouldn't be much different. Government would do pretty much the same stuff? Does that seem like a likely outcome to anybody?
It does seem
possible. Possible. Yes.
I can't see they'd have enough seats between the two of them, but if it did happen, I don't think it'd be much different to what we got now.
Okay, and the last possibility, really, is the Labour SNP deal.
I don't like that.
They've already dismissed it, haven't they?
No, but they can still do it.
Have they dismissed it?
They'll still say they might actually do something with them. I don't know. They can change their mind, don't they?
What Ed Miliband has said is he won't enter a formal coalition with them. But that doesn't mean you can't, on a case-by-case basis.
So I think you should know up front before you vote. Because if I did vote with them last time, so and I was actually quite annoyed with the Conservatives.
Yeah.
As a voter, I'd like to think that if there is going to be a highly likely to be a coalition government, then I'd like to know who's going to be getting stepping on each other, and it's going to be that's it.
It's a shame that we can't vote for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a shame that, if it does go, that they don't get enough votes to get them all in, that we then go and vote again, and then you say who you would like that coalition to be with.
But at the last debate, he definitely said he would not go into coalition with the STP. He said we're too far apart, and you want Scotland to be independent. There's no way that you can deal with us.
But that's not the same as not on a vote-by-vote basis doing a deal with them or enlisting their support to pass your budget or to pass this bill or that bill. There are things you can do that aren't a full coalition.
No, but he said that in front of the people who are going to vote for either him or the Conservatives.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, he is not going to do a deal with them, but I can't see why. I can't see him not doing a deal with him to get power.
How do you feel if on May the 8th he did do a deal with them?
I wouldn't like it, to be honest.
You don't like it?
But the thing is, he's already in there, and there's nothing we can do.
There's nothing I can do to stop it.
No.
So if we end up with the Labour SNP government?
We'll all be emigrating.
I mean, there's one other scenario, which is that come May the 8th, there's no clear outcome, no one does the deal, and we have another election in a few months' time.
Yeah.
Well, it
That should be right.
basically the same, wouldn't it?
I've got enough of these to decorate the room.
I mean, what's going to change over the next 6 months?
Right, so
We're going to be in exactly the same situation, and it'll be voted again, and the outcome would be basically the same again.
Okay. I mean, there is a limited there's a limited window in which the parties have to form government. If they can't, you pretty much get another election.
They've got 6 weeks to form a government.
Something like that.
Yeah. But I'd like to see. I'm a Labour supporter, to be honest, but I still want a Conservative. Might probably just squeeze in this time.
Not anymore. I don't think I am anymore.
I didn't mind Blair when he first came to power.
Yeah.
Up until the war, I thought Blair was really good. So then he went downhill, didn't he?
Okay. Look, I want to get you to do probably one more thing for me. I've got some ballot papers here. Now, I know the election is not right now, but if it was right now, can I ask you to mark them here? If you had to vote now, how you think you'd vote, and then just as in the real thing, fold it up and I'll collect the minutes. Oh, look, but can you mark here, if you had to vote right now.
I've got to pick a party
Do we
now.
hide it or do we show?
Hide it. Vote, and then fold your ballot paper, and I'll come around and collect them.
And you've got to pick one party.
Yeah, just like when you vote for the real thing, you only get one vote.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm still going.
Okay, but if you had to vote now, if the election was today, if it wasn't in a fortnight, but the election is today, who do you vote for? Mark one X or tick, I don't mind. One clear indication of the party you would support.
I don't care, thank you. This probably wouldn't end up the way I want to vote, or I'm not certain if I want to vote for money. Unless somebody can come up with something different.
I think you have to pick one.
Do I put my name on it?
No. No, we live in democracy, you know, a secret ballot. I will count them in a second, but
We're going to have a coalition in
Interesting what works out. So.
we'll find out. Alright, well, okay, has everyone voted?
Yeah.
Very good. Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Should be interesting.
I should be there.
What do you vote?
I'm going to play pretend I'm something. Something I always wanted to do. We've got one for UKIP. Two for UKIP. We've got a Conservative.
Who's that?
A third UKIP. A Labour. Another Labour. A Conservative.
Oh, this is going to be
Another Conservative.
I don't
With
believe
two
it.
to go.
It's going to be a Conservative UKIP coalition.
A Labour.
This is a deciding one. It's on that one.
So someone who folded their paper very neatly. Labour. Four Labour, three Conservatives, three UKIP. Very close.
election. It's going to be, if it's similar to that, let's go.
So, people of Thurrock, if you wake up and you have a Labour MP, what do you think of that? Four of you clearly are very happy and that's what you vote for. If you didn't though, is that, alright then, not what I wanted, but it's not the worst thing? Is that basically disappointing?
Have to wait and see. Because you'll have to see what they can do.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that would make Ed Miliband more likely to be Prime Minister. Is that an exciting prospect to wake up to? Isn't it alarming?
It's slightly ahead at the moment anyway.
Yeah, it's not exciting at all.
You know, the discussion we've had tonight today, I was quite surprised that anyone voted Conservative.
But when you say it's going to be exciting, when Tony Blair was elected in '97, there was real excitement. Thousands of people lined the street up. You may not be, but there was excitement. People were excited by it.
Yeah, it's true. But
So why is it?
It's different now, though.
Is it he's different, he's just no Tony Blair? Is it we live in a different country and we're all a bit more cynical?
I think if it was him, you've got to have some form of excitement because you've got to think of what he's going to do. You know,
It's
he's
almost
obviously,
if he does it.
but this is what is that's the excitement bit, isn't it? Because you're in anticipation of what is going to happen.
I'm just not excited because the parties are too similar. It's a very right-wing Labour Party and it's a very left-wing Conservative Party, so they're too close to one another these days.
I think most people, when Blair came, it was Blair that sold the Labour Party. I think he had something about him, charisma, that people thought, yeah, we are going to be a lot better now. I don't think it was Labour itself, it was Blair himself.
That's why
We ain't got that this
That's why I
time.
think you've got to like the person at the front.
Yeah.
If he does,
That's Nigel Farage to me. I mean, he's got something that when he says something, people listen. But I just don't hear any other, just the one
Still
or two
just thinking
things.
When I asked her about Ed Miliband, I don't think like he sort of came to defence a bit, but the rest of you, he wasn't a particularly, he wasn't sure if he was up to the job being Prime Minister, not necessarily particularly, certainly no excitement by it.
Do you? There's that you just don't know. He could do the job and do it absolutely brilliantly.
Sure.
You just don't know.
I'd like him to be Prime Minister, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, from my background, he ain't no Tony Benn. Simple as that. You know, so he doesn't excite me, but I want him to be Prime Minister.
I think but people would rather see the Conservatives out, and that's their only way of getting him out.
Okay.
So it's a vote against the Conservatives rather than for Labour.
Are you surprised
In my
by
eyes.
that?
Am I surprised at that? No, actually, I'm not particularly surprised. I mean, it's the seats pretty much the polling suggests here is neck and neck between the three parties. So it would be surprising if Labour, 8 of you voted Labour and only one of you UKIP and one of you Conservative. That would be a bit surprising. But no, someone else could have got the fourth vote. But yeah, I mean, it is that close.
It's also close.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like that throughout the country, I should imagine.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of seats where it is, and Thurrock is just one of those seats where there are three parties. Lots of seats you only get a choice of two people normally. So Thurrock is slightly unusual, having three parties all very close.
Just shows you people aren't
Can I say who I put down? I put down Labour, but I was dancing between UKIP and Labour. I could have ticked any one of them two.
So what does this actor guy need to do in the next 2 weeks to get your vote? You voted Labour. If you thought Labour, you thought UKIP, what does he need to say to get you to put that?
I want to know more about their other policies, go deeper of what they're going to do with their other policies. It's not just immigration to run a country.
Okay, quite useful. That's good. Is that true for other people for UKIP then? That if they were to try going from 3 votes, get themselves into the lead, they need to flesh out their other policies. You're convinced in immigration, you're convinced in Europe. They need to tell you about what else they'll do?
Yeah, it has to be something, that competes with the other.
On the health service, on infrastructure, on
education,
health, whatever.
And business. I think they've been very similar to Conservatives on business side of it.
I'm not sure about coming out of the European Union, to be honest with you. I think that he says he doesn't want to be in it, but I think it's better to have a referendum for ourselves to choose that than for the party to choose that.
Okay, quite useful.
Can I just ask, what are the odds of us coming out of with a vote in England? If they has anybody give an idea of how the country is feeling about it?
Last time we asked the question, which was last week, the country would narrowly vote to stay in the European Union. Not by a huge margin, but by 5 or 6% would vote to stay. This was the last time we asked. Narrowly in favour. UKIP, for another polling firm, they give a slightly bigger sort of stay-in lead, about 10 points. And so it's at the moment, obviously the vote isn't tomorrow, but if it was tomorrow, it looks like people would narrowly vote 60-40-ish to stay. Does that sound about right from?
That's probably why UKIP ain't going to
get anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,